Hi, this is me answering question number whatever this is about the social audience I was trying to reach. Now, I'm trying to reach about 16 to 30-year-olds, predominantly male, because the punk scene's mainly male, even though there is a female audience. The target in our social grade is about A to C2. It's relatively cheap for a music magazine, so it's open to others, like other social people. The general interest is going to be the punk music and the punk culture, mainly the alternate lifestyle such as tattoos and piercings, and like gigging and live music, obviously. Now the question is, what do they do in their spare time? Being generally young, they're either going to be working or in college or school. So they'll be working all week, evenings will be predominantly working or homework or coursework or something. And it'll mainly be the weekends what they have left for free time. So they'll be doing things like going to gigs, mainly because they're fans of music, obviously, or watching TV and film, video games, maybe a bit of reading. They might play music themselves as well. So that's quite a broad thing, especially with music. They might be heavily involved. Correct myself saying that. And also because it's such a young male audience, they may be interested in computers and video games and stuff. But seeing as this is a music magazine, we can ignore that. Even though if I wanted to do this in the future, I would think about putting a video game article in there or something, or maybe a film article for like indie games or indie films, something which is underground. Also, as a young audience, they'll be interested in social media, like social networks such as Facebook and Twitter, and being interested in music. They may be part of social band things, such as SoundCloud is one of them, where you can listen to new bands and what tracks they have. I have one personally for my band, and it works a treat. We have a lot of followers coming and listening to it, so they may do that. Or Bandcamp, which is essentially like iTunes, but if you're not signed to a record label, all your stuff's on a Bandcamp. So they may be into that, and it'll be cool to have a SoundCloud or Bandcamp article in the magazine. Continuing on where I left off, because my phone started ringing. How did I attract my audience? Well, front covers, they're the first thing a reader's going to see, obviously, on a magazine rack. And because I wanted to attract a punk audience, I thought I'd try copying the scheme to famous punk albums. And now the most iconic album I could think of, which is very, very relevant in British pop culture and punk culture as well, is Nevermind the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols. Now, it was a controversial album to begin with, because that's when punk went into the mainstream. I thought if I copied the scheme of that, then that would attract an older audience who would recognise the album, and maybe a younger audience as well who too would recognise the album. I also made the information very basic as well. That you can read that any way you want, be that punk music being very basic, and I wanted the information to be short and snappy so they get it straight away, or because they're part of this social media thing where they get information very basic, and that's what they want: short, snappy, it's there, that's what you're getting style. The articles themselves in the magazine, if I was going to create this properly, which I have to pretend I'm doing for the sake of this coursework, is that the articles themselves won't be very brief. They'll be long, but not long, like a medium length with a lot of detail in there. But for the sake of a front cover, I wanted short, snappy. That's what you're getting, that's what's there. There you go, sort of style to it. Also, I felt that the name Oi, which comes from Oi Punk, like my favourite type really, it can be read as Oi the genre if they know it, or oi, as in the magazine actually calling the audience from magazine rack. I felt it was clever, and it can parody OK Magazine, which is like, I've managed to do the corner headline, masthead, corner of the masthead, like that, to parody it. Mainly because it's OK Magazine is the binary opposite of my magazine. OK Magazine focuses on pop culture, mine is punk culture, and those two things can never come together, and I thought that would be quite an ironic and funny thing to do, and if anyone can notice that without me telling you what it is, then good job. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter, to be honest. My voice is croaky, I haven't shaved, I'm tired. Goodbye.